I mean,
Pixie's like, I would buy it.
I would buy it. But calendar. Hi guys, welcome to LoveCast, the Boys Love podcast. I'm your host Pixie, and with me are my co-hosts Alexa and Kayla.
Hey. Hello.
Today we are talking KinnPorsche predictions. Because obviously, like, the first episode aired today. So we're gonna go through what we think the show is gonna be. I know, like, a lot of people are excited for this, so we're gonna talk it through. First, we I wouldn't call it tea time because it's not really tea, but we wanted to mention that Boy Some Bop, the artist, he sings a lot of soundtracks for BLs. Which one has he done?
He did Until We Meet Again, like a bunch of their OSTs. He did a lot of stuff with Wabi Sabi because he just released one for that Dear Doctor series that started. Until We Meet Again's like the first.
Really good. Yeah.
Love by Chance, yeah.
Yeah. His soundtracks are really good. He's
like the voice of BL OSTs.
And you should check it out on Spotify or something if you haven't already. But he put out on his social media that he has been diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. So that's sad. Yeah, he seems very optimistic, and I mean, obviously stage 3 is like, that's pretty intense. But he does seem pretty optimistic in a lot of his posts that he's put out there about it. I think as of today, when we're recording this, he was like going in for surgery for like his first round of treatment today. So hopefully, fingers crossed that treatment will go well for him. But yeah, it's very sad news. Yeah, and obviously all his projects and everything have been put on hold while he goes through this, because this is going to be like the worst experience of his life, and he's going to be, too busy fighting off this, and we really hope that he can fight it.
Yeah.
And come back.
Yeah. Sending him all the well wishes that we can.
Yes. So, for our main content, so we're going to talk about KinnPorsche. For those of you that don't know KinnPorsche, which might be a little, like, a tiny percentage, because this has been talked about on socials so much.
If you're newer, you might not know as much of the history behind it, because this project has existed for, like, 2 years at this point and has been through the ringer. So the fact that it's actually like on air now is a big deal. And I think that's a lot of the reason why there is so much hype behind it, aside from the fact that it is like such a different and darker story. I think the fact that it took so long to get here also has people very, very excited for it.
Yeah. And we're going to get into it and like compare to a little bit about how it started and what it's now and what it's gonna be and stuff like that. But for those who don't know, the synopsis is that the second young master of a gang, Kinn, was plotted by the enemy. Plotted by the enemy? What does that mean?
Enemies. The English is a little off. I think it means that like people were coming after him at the point when he met Porsche.
Okay. So his enemies were going after him, and he met Porsche while trying to escape. Porsche, a college student who works in a pub as his part-time job, happened to see Kinn being chased after, but didn't plan to come forward to rescue him. However, Kinn made a deal with Porsche. If Porsche would save him, he would pay money in return. Money drives Porsche very much.
a one-time national martial arts champion, into the close combat where he rescues Kinn and manages to keep him out of the way. Porsche's good skill also made Kinn want him to be his personal bodyguard. In addition to being pursued by Kinn, Porsche was also pursued by Kinn's enemies. Desperate, he had to relent to his fate and became Kinn's bodyguard, though his heart was reluctant and he was afraid his only kin, his brother, would be involved.
Using the word kin as in family. Someone's name is also Kin. His only family would have been like...
Yeah. Whoever wrote this synopsis from the IKEA, they should have checked it first, but yeah. God seemed to be playing tricks on him, and he was finally forced to agree to Kinn and enter his intricate family. Being a bodyguard of a gang is all about skills. During this time, Porsche also encountered various unexpected things. The closer he got to Kinn, the more hesitant he felt in his heart. But his road is not easy to walk because the various problems and obstacles that follow are testing their love. And Porsche has to face all the difficulties and strengthen his feelings for Kinn. Yeah, like we said, that synopsis came from the IKEA website where you can watch this show. Yeah. I mean, it's in the grid of it all. It's a mafia story, and it's enemies to lovers kind of deal, and there's a lot of intricate storylines with the families of both of these, and yeah, there's a lot happening.
Yeah. There's been like some relationship charts floating around on Twitter and stuff that people have tried to put together from both the novel and what we've seen from the series so far. And there's just, first of all, there are so many men. There is like 20 men in this series. So that's a lot of people.
What I realized.
That's a lot of men in one
yesterday.
series. So that alone is like a lot to keep track of, but there is a lot of like complex relationships between like the two mafia families and the bodyguards and who they're involved with and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it might be a little bit complicated at first, but hopefully like they'll do a good job of easing into all of the different storylines. Yeah, we haven't, like, at the time, obviously we're doing our predictions, so we're recording this before watching the first episode, so like we have no idea what's happened so far, but I hope that they do a good job of easing into the story and hopefully making things understandable, because it is very hard when you're just reading it to kind of figure out what is going on.
Yeah. For those who weren't there from the beginning of when we first heard about KinnPorsche, they started out with giving us a 9 minutes trailer. And this was back when Filmania was the company that was going to do it. Now it's Be on Cloud.
Yeah, Be on Cloud.
And it was a 9 minutes high budget trailer.
Cinematic.
Like, it was crazy. And some people were complaining like they told...
Okay. A motorcycle.
Is it coming back? Oh, okay. Some people were complaining that the trailer showed the entire storyline. Which, I mean, yeah, kinda. But when Beyond Cloud took it on, it seems like they've gone a completely different route. The initial trailer was more, it was more comedy involved.
Yeah.
Like, it was a mix between, like, mafia and comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the initial... that 9 minute one leaned a lot more on the comedy side of things. And when Beyond Cloud took it on, like, the final trailer that we got definitely had some comedic elements to it, but like the initial teasers and stuff that they were releasing were very dark and artistic. So I know like Pixie, when those first dropped, you were very you were like you were so like, skeptical.
Tell me nothing. Like, what even is that? What does that mean? Like, I'm not here to watch BL to microanalyze like the colors and everything in that show. Just like give me a fucking story, please.
It's funny.
But they got you on board by the time the final trailer dropped.
Yeah. I've been very skeptical and very, because also when Filmania, did they ever announce that they were stopping even?
Filmania itself, I think they did. No, I don't think they put out like a announcement through the company, but I think one of like the CEOs or something posted on his social media about it.
No. It was the author of the book.
Oh, it was the authors that put out it.
Yeah, okay. I remember now. It was the author that came out, and then the actors had to come out.
Started
and
one
like,
by one.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Yeah. And Filmania said nothing, and then we heard another company was taking over with no information from anywhere, and the actors were kind of left to explain this themselves, and a lot of them got sacked. Like, they just got thrown off.
Initially. And then most of them came back in the end. Like, you know, obviously Perth was one of the big ones that, like, we made a whole thing about when it first happened, that, like, Perth was no longer going to be in KinnPorsche. And then eventually they brought him back. And I know that happened with a couple of the other actors that had tweeted that they weren't going to be part of the series, and then ended up coming back to it. And then, of course, people like Gameplay, who was initially supposed to be starring opposite Jeff, was not able to come back for whether that be his own scheduling reasons or something else that we could speculate about. But
that really surprised me, because I wasn't expecting, like, Gameplay was on the fast track when they were doing casting. Like, he was one of the people that was like for Filmania when they were doing the casting, that like he was gonna go through, but suddenly he's not there anymore. And
I mean, I know in the time that happened, he also ended his contract with Warper and ended up with DV8 Thailand, while Jeff, you know, is still with Warper. So I don't know if that played into it, and, you know, if that was part of the reason why he didn't continue when Beyond Cloud picked it up. But yeah, there was a lot of drama for a couple months. Like, there was a period of time where we didn't think the series was going to happen anymore. It was kind of just like radio silence from every angle. We knew that like Filmania had basically gone bankrupt, but like they weren't saying anything, and we didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden Beyond Cloud came out of nowhere, and so
new company,
no one, like literally a brand new company.
This. Yeah. I have a guess as to who they are. I think they are Chinese money. I think it's like because the Chinese usually have this deal where they want to stay hidden. They want to invest in things, but they stay in the background. They don't want to show who they are. And I think they're behind it all a little bit because this ended up on a Chinese platform.
Yeah. It's also
and
interesting.
Also, the budget is huge.
Yeah.
And they needed a lot of money. And who has that kind of money?
Yeah. That's an interesting theory, because there's been a lot of like Chinese marketing included that wasn't initially like, all of the characters have like Chinese names that they include in their hashtags, and like all of the marketing that they release a Chinese version of everything. And you know, I feel like that, and when I think about it that way, that theory does kind of check out. That might be where the company came from.
Yeah, it suddenly popped into my head today. I'm just like, that makes so much sense. Yeah, it's China.
Yeah, has to be.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So the series is obviously going into a more darker theme. Originally, we heard it was gonna be 21 plus, but it seems like it's 18 plus now. If you look at the IQ app. which still is like, it's
for
still
BL,
high
it's like,
rate
yeah.
for a BL.
Yeah.
Which for a lot of people, I think that's the reason why they're so excited for it, because obviously we get a lot of like fluffy university BLs, and that's not everyone's cup of tea. So I think a lot of people are excited for darker, more adult, more mature themes. But I think for other people that also makes them skeptical as well, because we haven't had a lot of BLs pull off something like this to know how it's going to go. So I think, you know, a lot of people don't know what to expect from a BL going this kind of like darker, heavy, very heavy route, especially from what I know about the novel and some of the things I've heard about the novel, which obviously they're going to change things to make it like television appropriate, which is only natural to happen when you're adapting something. But shit is dark. It's like very, very dark. So, you know, I think people don't quite know what to expect from it, but you know, it's kind of breeding both excitement and skepticism at the same time.
I think some people need to remember also that the 18 plus is because of violence too. It's
not just sex.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be a lot of sex from what we've seen, obviously, but yes, it's also a mafia drama, so it was going to be higher rated no matter what, because of the violence and the blood and the death and everything. So it's not just about the sex, although there is seemingly going to be a lot of it. There is other things that work into that rating as well.
Yes. Yeah. So like most people focus on the sex when they're talking about the 18 plus. So I'm just like,
the pool scene from the trailer
not
is
just the sex here.
People are like, it's rated 21 plus for that pool scene alone, and I'm like,
just you wait, that pool scene in the trailer, it's probably just like for the trailer.
Don't say
that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, what if it doesn't even really have any impact on anything, and they just put it there?
100%. They just put it there to like get everyone to watch.
Everyone who's watching the series just for that, just because of that scene in the trailer, is going to lose it.
I would have been really interested to see the the views the episodes we're getting, but I don't think the platform releases them.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, because I think it's really interesting to watch how the views differ depending on
what's in the episode. Yeah, it's like you see that with Cutie Pie, like the parts that have like kiss scenes are at like 5 million views versus like the other parts have like maybe 1 million views.
Yeah, and it's the same episodes, just different parts.
Different parts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we know where you can see where people's priorities are when it comes to that stuff, and like I have no doubt, and like some people are watching this just because they're expecting to see more bed scenes, and like that's totally fine, but I don't know. I don't want people to be disappointed because they're expecting it to be like softcore porn, and like that's not what they get, you know?
Even something like swearing is going to put the rating up to 18. So I actually, one of my predictions kind of had to do with that, because I was like, this is either going to be the most like riveting adult type BL that we've gotten since like History Trapped, or it's going to disappoint us by focusing on eye candy and like shocking content.
Yeah, I could see it going either way. I definitely feel like it's going to be one of those shows where, because it's been put on such a high pedestal for so long, like it's going to either be really amazing or it's going to be a complete letdown. Like, you know, sometimes a show is just okay and that works like for that show, but because this has been hyped up for so long, I feel like if it doesn't meet those expectations, like it's going to feel like it's a lot worse than it might actually be.
I agree. Like, this series has a lot of hype connected to it, so if they don't pull it off, it's gonna be a disaster, honestly. And I'm curious about how the length and the uncut version, because sometimes that can really like, more isn't always better. You need to like use your time wisely, and if you're just gonna put everything in there, the pacing is gonna be off. So I'm really interested if they're gonna keep up the pacing, but that also makes me kind of like it's kind of Chinese to put an hour-long episode.
Yeah, they are longer. We usually get 40, 45-minute episodes. So, and then there was like Lovely Writer and D-Hub House, which puts out like an hour and a half version of their uncut episodes. Like they're so long for no reason, but on average, KinnPorsche is longer.
At times very drawn out, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Not every show needs an hour and a half episode.
Like it's like watching a movie every time you sit down to watch it.
It really is.
Like, you could have told that story in half that time. You don't need the length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think an hour is pretty average, so hopefully nothing will be too drawn out, but we'll see.
Yeah. So our main couple is Kinn and Porsche, which is Mile and Appo. And that's going to be really interesting. I know a lot of people who are excited about this show are excited because of them.
They're super charismatic. I mean,
they are.
They're so charismatic. I mean, Appo alone is like a whole... Appo is like... Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We all know. Yeah.
We all know. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's one of the benefits of this series is that like the cast is really been top tier. So being able to like see the interactions and stuff like that beforehand and watching all the work that they put into this series, I think is going to be a saving grace. But I don't know. I know a lot of people from like the stuff that I've seen like in our Discord and just on social media, I feel like a lot of people are very intrigued by Pete in Vegas, which is Bible and Build. And that's the one where Vegas is part of the second mafia family and Pete is, I think, a bodyguard. And it's supposed to be the very like, there's a lot of like in the novel, like torture and kind of stuff involved in their relationship. So it's like very, very dark. And I think maybe people are really curious to see how it'll play out on the show itself. But I've seen a lot of people are like, I guess I don't know if I would say looking forward to, but the most intrigued by what that pairing has to bring.
Yeah, and here I am just rooting for Kim and Porsche.
Because of Jeff.
Yeah. 100%.
I feel like they seem like they're kind of going to be like the softer pairing. I mean, obviously Barcode is only 17, so the actor, there's only so much they can do with that relationship in the show, but just in general, like I don't know too much about their pairing in the novel, but they seem like the kind of like softer counterpart to all of the other couples in this series, but we'll see.
I'm kind of weird about stuff because I like tension. Like I don't need the full on skinship. Or obviously I like it as long as it's not too much, but I live on tension, and tension you create from almost like so I am hoping that's what they're gonna do with Kim and Porsche. Like if you can just give me Jeff just creating tension, I'm there.
No bias.
No bias at all.
No, but he is so good at like just creating tension. Like he's built for it. I don't know.
He's built for it. I feel like everyone like in the main cast is built for creating tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and then we have the fourth. I guess I guess I can't say pairing because it's like kind of a throuple situation. But Tay, Time, and Tem, which that's gonna get confusing. Tay, Time, and Tem. Yeah. But from what I know, two of them are in. I think like Tay and Time are in a established relationship, and then Tem comes in to kind of cause temptation between them, and people are kind of wondering if they'll go like the throuple route or if it'll end up more of like a cheating, non-consensual, moving outside of the relationship type situation. So I know
I am not here for a cheating plot, but I'm here for a triple part.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, if it's consensual throuple situation going on here, I'm all for it. But if one of them ends up just like cheating on the other, then like, oof. Yeah. I don't like cheating plot lines, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. So we know Pixie's most excited for KinnPorsche. Kayla, what about you? Do you have one that you're looking forward to the most?
I feel like it's probably going to change, but right now, the main couple,
KinnPorsche.
Just because I don't have that much knowledge about any of the couples yet. So we'll see.
I'm like weirdly, and this is weird because like knowing what I know about the novel, like their pairing is not something that I would enjoy reading, but I'm really intrigued by Vegas and Pete. And I don't know if it's just because I like really love Build and Bible outside of the show, but I'm really intrigued by the Vegas. It's butt. Yeah, it's Bible's butt. That Bible's butt, man. But I don't know. I just like, I guess I don't know what to expect from that dynamic. I'm curious to see how they'll adapt something that is seemingly very dark and heavy and bring it onto the screen. So I'm very intrigued by them. But honestly, I'm excited to see where everything goes. I think it's going to be really fun to watch all of them. So.
Oh, and talking about Bible, for those who don't know, he did the translation for the KinnPorsche novel, part 1.
So part 1 of 4.
Yeah, so you can get it on Meb right now.
It's very expensive.
Yes, but I have a reason for that, which is that translating is a pain in the ass, and it takes a lot of time and editing and all that. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money. These translators should get paid. So honestly, I think it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though, because I feel like part of me feels like they're only making it that expensive because one of the actors in the series translated it. Because like if it was just another translator, would they still be putting it out at the same price? You know, if it was also going to be $23 with just like a normal professional translator did it, then like, yeah, I'm all for it. But then part of me is like, are they only jacking up the price because it's translated by one of the actors in the series who maybe he is a professional translator. I don't know. I mean, I know he's fluent in both English and Thai, so obviously he can translate, but I don't know if he's a professional per se. So I think it was an interesting choice. I mean, I understand why they did it, but I don't know.
And the question is here too, how long did he have to do it?
Yeah, that's very true.
If it was like an express thing and he did it in a really short time, he had to have used like all his free time on this night and day. Like, you should get paid for what you do.
That's very true. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people have been hesitant to buy it because it is like $23 US and it's only part 1 of 4. So, you know, if all the parts are that expensive, you're looking at like $100 for the full series. So people are pretty hesitant about it. I haven't read it yet, so I can't like do any judgment on the translation work. Not that I would be able to anyways, because I'm not a translator.
I started it. I haven't had time to get far, but I started it, and so far it's pretty good actually. Pretty good. Like since he knows the English language intimately, he knows how to word things to make it sound like it's actually natural. A sentence. And not like a lot of these authors or these translators, like they mess up because they are not used to talking English and they're not used to the sentence structure. So so far it's been making sense.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly impressed. So
good for him.
Yeah. So yeah. So what are we looking forward to the most about the series?
Perth. Yeah, we have to give him a shout out.
Alexa on the pitties right away.
Somehow that has become
a simp on the server.
Okay, but listen. So I think it was for April Fool's Day, but someone in Perth fandom made an Instagram account for the pitties, and in one of their posts, they like tagged me as someone who was like always simping, and I was like, how has this become my reputation?
They have been on our Discord server. That's how. For anyone who wants to join our Discord, it's open. It's in the description, so just join. You can watch Alexa in the wild simping.
But for real, I don't know how this reputation came about, but you know what?
Yeah, right.
I'll embrace it. No, but like it's just exciting because obviously, like when we first talked to Perth, like way back, like we had, you know, he had been casting KinnPorsche, and then you know we talked to him again, and that was around the time that he wasn't going to be in KinnPorsche anymore. And so like now that he's back, and you know I feel like he even has like a bigger role than he maybe had initially in the series, so it's just exciting. You know, we're always rooting for him, so I'm excited to see how it plays out in the series. I know he's doing another character where they just like kind of mix English in with the Thai, which I think it's always funny that they end up doing it for his character.
I was gonna say, how much do you predict he's gonna talk English?
He mentioned in I think one of his streams that, I don't know if it was for both Cutie Pie and for KinnPorsche, but like for Cutie Pie, they just write the script like that. And then like the only time Perth really ad-libs is if the English is like not, you know, doesn't flow naturally, then he'll kind of like ad-lib it in a way that makes sense. But like the production crews behind these series are really just like, this man is going to speak English and we are going to make it happen.
But it's really smart because they're kind of, it's their way of like connecting the international audience to the show, right?
People love Perth and his Australian accent, so
yeah. But and also like when you're watching a show in Thai and you suddenly hear English, something you understand without reading it, you get like you get kind of spooked.
Like, did I just hear that right?
And you remember it, right? Like I remember still when we were watching Why Destiny.
Job. Yeah, Job's episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's stuck in my head forever.
It does
he was
create an
talking
impression.
so much English. Yeah. So yeah. What I'm looking forward to the most is the plot. I think like the KinnPorsche novel is so rich with the story, and I really hope that doesn't sort of get washed out on the TV show. Like obviously we don't want the not appropriate stuff. There's a difference between a novel and a TV series. Some stuff just doesn't belong, but I there's a lot of intricate relationships and stories, and it's very interesting, and there's more a plot that doesn't just involve the couple. Like there is a whole world around them. It's not just them, like in a lot of BLs.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kayla, do you have anything that you're looking forward to?
Same thing with the plot. I think that's really what I'm looking forward to the most. And then I have like the more personal one of I'm looking forward to Oppo because I like previously didn't know anything about him, and then I watched that trailer and I was like, hold up. Paris was right. She was right.
Yeah, I feel like you had an awakening in that trailer, the Oppo awakening.
So I'm looking forward. Yeah, I'm looking forward to his character because I really love that badass character that like does whatever they want and like so doesn't care about anyone. Like I really like that kind of character. So I think that I'm looking forward to his character, but also that Oppo is playing his character.
Yeah, it's definitely like it seems like I couldn't imagine anyone else playing, from what we've seen of Porsche, I can't imagine anyone else but Oppo playing like that cheeky, confident kind of swagger that he seems to have from what we've seen like in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like the character was made for Oppo, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing, like, I don't know, like, it's a huge ensemble cast, and, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know most of the names of the people involved, but, like, watching the interviews and stuff, you know, a lot of them, this is their first time acting, and they've all put a lot into it. So I feel like I'm just kind of excited to see how it all comes together for all of them, and kind of seeing all of their characters and how the huge ensemble cast kind of all plays out on screen together. So, yeah.
Do you think this show is gonna pass the Bechdel test?
Well, there's no women in it, are there?
Exactly.
I don't
can't really pass the Bechdel test if there's no women. I think that the bar owner that Oppo works at, obviously, I think, you know, that might be the only woman in the cast that I've seen
named
that has like
in the cast
that has like a significant role, that has like a name and an actual character. But yeah, I guess
I mean, the
there's
parents
no
even there aren't any women there.
Only dads.
It's just a sausage fest.
You can't pass the Bechdel test if there's no women there to pass it.
For those who don't know, the Bechdel test is 1, that at least 2 women are featured, 2, that these 2 women talk to each other, and 3, that they discuss something other than a man.
I don't even know if they'll make it past the first one.
I don't think so.
There's a lot of movies and TV shows that don't pass the test, but this is, I think, like, I'm pretty sure it's
extreme.
not even gonna pass the first one.
But I will say, I would rather have a cast with no women than a bunch of badly written, like, villainized women.
That's true.
That I agree.
So, you know, if the only woman in this series is going to be the bar owner, and at least if she plays a good character, then I will be happy with that, as opposed to having, like, a bunch of petty fiancés or ex-girlfriends and that kind of stuff coming into play, which is what we usually get from women in BL. So, you know what? I'd rather they just not have women at all if they can't write them well.
Yeah, I mean, for the, like, setting of the story and in the country the story is, it's sort of like it's a man's world, so it does feel natural that there's no, like, you can't put any women in the bodyguards because that's not gonna fly, and these men aren't really respectful. Mafia men aren't really respectful towards women. So
yeah, I'm curious if, like, yeah, you pointed out that, like, even the dads, like, we don't see their wives at all. Like, are they just not gonna have wives? Is there some tragic backstory where they died? Like, I don't know how they're gonna do that, because, like, usually, you know, if you have a rich, like, mafia family, there's at least, like, the matriarch is there in some form, but, like, yeah, there's really no, like, matriarch involved at all. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess, what well, I mean, we know Porsche's whole thing is that, like, the only family he has left is Porsche and his uncle. So I guess his parents are dead, which is not uncommon for BLs. You know, someone's always gonna have dead parents. But yeah, I'm curious about everyone else in the story, and if that'll be explained at all, or if it'll just kind of be something that we're just not supposed to question.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but yeah. Are there any stuff you guys, like, feel that you are hesitant about?
I know we mentioned barcode earlier. I think him being so young could end up being a problem, or something that will cause a lot of discourse online. But it depends all on how he's portrayed. Like, we don't know how he's going to be portrayed in the series. We don't know if it's going to be, like, some over sexualized thing. I hope not. personally, but I think that even just people finding out initially how old he was,
that caused quite some talk. Yeah.
From what I remember from the first trailer, when gameplay was playing Porsche, he seemed like it's sort of like the stark contrast of Porsche. He was like supposed to be the innocence to Porsche's sexiness. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think the character of Porsche, isn't he a high school student in the novel? Or am I remembering that incorrectly? Isn't he younger in the novel? I don't. Yeah, I feel like I remember that being mentioned, that like Barcode was aged up, like the actor Barcode is the appropriate age for the character of Porsche, but I don't know if they've ever stated.
The whole story here with Kim liking Porsche is because he's so innocent, and Kim, this is outside of the life. Kim, he hasn't seen this before, so it intrigues him. So that's the whole story.
In the initial trailer, Kim is kind of the one who, that one person who doesn't want anything to do with the mafia life. Like he's kind of only ever there when he has to be type thing. So I don't, if they were continuing it that way in this version, I feel like him, you know, liking Porsche would be, you know, him liking someone completely like disconnected from the mafia life would make sense. It kind of represents the innocence that he doesn't have in his life at all. But I think it really depends on how their story is portrayed. I hope and pray, like I can't see them having anything like too dark and sexual with them.
Anything in the trailer or anything this
time? Barely in the trailer. Yeah, there was like one shot of Barcode.
The trailer.
There's like one bar shot of him in the trailer, and there's one shot of Barcode crying in the trailer, and that's like all we saw of them in the trailer. So we'll see.
Do you think this story will be very centered around Kinn and Porsche, and everyone else will sort of get like a background story kind of deal?
I have no idea. It could go either way.
I feel like in this version they've been heavily like putting a lot of I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like spotlight on Kinn and Porsche and Pete and Vegas. So well, obviously the other brother, I don't even know what his name is, the one that's played by Tong, the other Kinn and Kim and the third brother, the oldest one, he doesn't have like a love line at all. I feel like he's definitely going to be like a comedic relief person from what we see in the trailers, but like I'm curious about how big his role will be.
I know a spoiler from the first episode, a very tiny one. Do you want to hear it?
Okay, go for it.
There is no sign of the brothers other than Porsche in the first episode.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if that episode's supposed to be establishing how Kinn and Porsche meet. But yeah, I'm curious to see how much screen time they'll get. Yeah, we've got 14 episodes, so we'll see.
But the episode is 1 hour long, and there is no sign of the other guys. So I don't know if they're on a vacation or something. They're not there for the whole drama, but
I guess it depends on like how far, you know, because if they get up to the point where like before Kinn is coming into the mafia household, or like when he's first getting there, I guess like if all of their interactions are happening in that first episode, like in Porsche's territory, like at the bar and stuff like that, I feel like it would make sense to not see them. But you know, I haven't watched it yet, so who knows what's going on, but we'll see. We'll see.
In our Discord server we're doing watch parties, so if anyone wants to join, you can just hop in and we'll announce it for each one. It'll be in the middle of the night for me, so I won't be there, but
yeah, we can always like do them at different times too. This one we wanted to do like at the time of recording this, it's obviously the day of the premiere, so we wanted to do like a big special thing, but people kind of just like can create watch parties when they want, and we're all here for that kind of thing in the Discord server. So, but yeah,
one
I think
for Europe and one for the States.
With all the time zones, I feel like that's kind of how you have to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kayla, I know you had some other predictions that you had written down.
Well, I feel like this one is pretty obvious, but I think the popularity of everyone in this series, no matter how small their role is going to skyrocket after this. Mm-hmm. So I thought of Perth, even though he is pretty popular, but not to the point where he's unreachable yet. I feel like
better not happen.
I feel like this could really skyrocket everyone who is in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, especially for a lot of these people, like this, their first show they're being in, being KinnPorsche, like I feel like that's such a huge like first stepping stone to have in your career. I feel like it'll do a lot of good for people who might not be like well-known actors yet. So yeah, I can already see like the popularity of the cast and like seeing like the follower milestones that they've kind of reached already before the show has even started airing. Like it's only going to get like more and more popular, I feel like.
Yeah. And it does seem like the company Beyond Cloud does have the money to back it all up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're putting a lot into the promotion and having the cast go on different things and doing different types of interviews, and they put out a lot of content with everyone. So like they're doing all of the right things to kind of build up the hype of the show and the hype of the cast, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you guys think that Beyond Cloud will become like an entertainment company like GMMTV, Wabi Sabi, and
I don't know.
It's hard.
I mean, it's hard because they, like you said, like they didn't really exist before this. So right now, the only thing we've seen them having any intention of doing is KinnPorsche. Where like other companies, you know, they'll work on multiple projects at the same time of varying degrees of scale and popularity. But right now, this company is only focusing on KinnPorsche. So I don't know, you know, we can't really know, I feel like, what they plan to do after this. It'll be interesting.
It might be doing things like MAME does, like just giving it one show at a time.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So, but we'll see.
I did notice that when they wrapped on KinnPorsche, they like wrapped their final shoot, a lot of actors like specifically said a wrap on season 1 of KinnPorsche. So I don't know if they I mean, I don't know how much of the novel this series will cover, how long the novel is and all that kind of stuff. If they plan to make it a seasonal drama, or if they plan to do spin-offs with other characters, or if they were just saying that for the sake of creating like speculation. But a lot of them did put like on their Instagram stories and stuff, KinnPorsche season 1 wrap type thing. So
but that makes me worried that they're not going to tie up the ends of all the relationship, and I hate that. Do you like what happened with Oxygen? Like pissed me off.
Oh my god,
the second season and then it can't happen.
Yeah. And they left like nothing resolved, basically. If they do this, I will seriously rage.
The trust will be revoked in them again.
Oh my god.
They took so long to earn Pixie's trust back, and then they're going to lose it again. And then there's like the opposite end of the spectrum where like a show is meant to just be one season, and then it gets so popular that they do a second season, and it just like ruins everything good about the first season. So I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, maybe they were just trying to create like speculation and, you know, hype around the series wrapping, the shoot wrapping. But I did notice that they were saying like season 1 wrap. So we'll see. I guess we'll see where it goes. It's so, that's the thing about predictions, is like all you can really say is like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we do all have really high expectations for this show, and most people do because it's been hyping up for such a long time. And I don't think Beyond Cloud would have picked up the show if they didn't see any promise in it, and couldn't like, they knew this was already, like the original trailer had like insane views on it. So they knew this was popular, and they had a hype to live up to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's gonna be like it feels. I'm a little bit scared because it kind of feels like they're making a show with people that we're not used to, a company that we're not used to, and a lot of new actors and stuff, and we don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like at least with like GMM TV and a lot of the other shows, like we know the directors, some of the screenwriters, we know the company, we know like the what production we should expect and quality we should expect. But here we don't know anything.
I will say I know that a lot of like there's I think 3 directors involved in this, and from what I know they do have pretty good reputations from like the other project that they worked on. Someone was saying in our Discord earlier today that like they brought on directors that are specifically like known for certain things. Like one of the directors is really well known for their action sequences, and one of them is really well known for how they do like romance and love scenes. So it seems like the directors have a decent reputation, but yeah, in terms of cast, it's like almost not all of them. You know, there are some well-known actors in there, but it's a pretty new cast of a lot of people, and you don't know what to expect with that. Obviously, I'm sure they put a lot of hard work into it, but it does kind of like it's makes you nervous, but at the same time it's also kind of exciting to know you're getting like completely new people and not like, you know, I love GMM TV and their actors, but also it's like you put the same 6 people in every series and it can get kind of old sometimes. So, you know, it's like a double-edged sword where like it's exciting, but it also like makes you nervous for not knowing what to expect from, you know, the people involved.
Ooh, what do you predict? How many dumb questions do you predict journalists will ask these days?
I don't know if it's going to depend on how much fan service they do, because have they really done any yet?
Yeah, but you know, like it's been a long time. Like even from the beginning, they were asking them dumb questions. Like, wasn't it Oppo that really went in, like told off a journalist for asking him if he was gay?
Oh, I don't know.
Him? I can't remember.
Was it him? It was one or the other. I can't remember if it was Oppo or not.
I had never heard that before.
We talked about it on the podcast, Alexa.
Yeah, listen. I remember. I don't remember who it was.
Listen, we talk about a lot of things on the podcast, and they go out of my brain right after we talk about it.
It's been a year since, but yeah, we talked about it on the podcast. But because a journalist asked him about his sexuality, and he's just like, "Yeah, that's none of your business."
Sounds like something Oppo would say, but
yeah. That's why I was thinking him. But
I know in terms of like fan service, there's already like compilations going around on Twitter of like Oppo talking about like Miles' dick and stuff like that, and like them talking about like making out with each other and how like it was their first time kissing someone with facial hair and like all this. So they're definitely like in that very like cheeky kind of
they're playing with it. They're so playing with it.
They're playing into the sexual aspect of the series a lot when it comes to like their fan service and things like that. So I don't know. I haven't seen much from the other cast members like Bible and Build, and
I mean Jeff and Barcode just like sing cutely together.
Just little duets.
Yeah. I do predict that there's gonna be like a insane amount of stupid questions from journalists and fans after this series airs, especially when it's as explicit as the trailer showed.
Yeah,
but I do think like Oppo and stuff is really equipped to answer them because he doesn't take any shit.
Yeah, they seem very like I'm not sure if both of them, both Mile and Oppo, have been like acting in like Lacorns outside of the BL sphere before, but I feel like since they seem to be more seasoned actors, like they both kind of come in and like aren't playing into a lot of the stereotypical like BL things that a lot of people usually
just giggling over Heather's comments.
Oh my god, having Heather in the background just leaving us messages. Will we get plushie merch like all other BLs? What would it be? A plushie knife? A plushie guns? Or chains?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
A plushie. Oh my god.
Plushie knife.
I do think like KinnPorsche with this new KinnPorsche, I don't think plushies will be the main attraction. It would be really fun if they made like some like handcuff merch.
Oh god.
What?
Oh god. It's like how Vix had that one album release where there was like a BDSM contract in the album insert. It's like I feel like that would be like the kind of merch we'd be getting from this series.
Oh my god. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's and well, they already did like the photo book, so obviously they're going to capitalize on stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be another one down the line. I mean, they put out a photo book and it sold out before the series even started. So, but like in terms of stuff from the series, like, you know, people will make merch out of like necklaces and things that are significant to the show, but like like what do we have? guns and sex and
money,
pocket knife,
pocket knife. Oh, that'd be funny.
A shirt without buttons at all.
Just an open shirt.
Oh my god, that's a shawl, not a shirt.
We can get a plushie of Bible's butt.
I was gonna say they should
plushie.
They should do like a very sexy calendar. I think that would be
Ooh, yeah.
Your KinnPorsche boy of the month.
I mean,
Pixie's like, I would buy it.
I would buy it. Butt calendar.
Butt mouse pad.
Ooh, okay, yes, I'm here for that.
Be on cloud if you're watching this. We are giving you their merch ideas. So
we are giving you gold.
Take advantage of them. And in return, you can give us an interview with the cast. That's all we need.
That's all we ask for. Like, this is gold, guys.
You're missing out here. Oh, what was I going to say? I had like a more serious topic that I wanted to address before Heather popped in with her merch ideas. Pixie was talking about like stupid questions from like fans and paparazzi interviewers and stuff like that. Did you see that Warper had to put out a statement already about fans? So basically there was this Instagram account that was like a Jeff Barcode Instagram, and they were putting a bunch of like hate towards gameplay on the account, to the point where Warper had to come out and make a statement and be like, dude, like Jeff and gameplay are still really good friends, like don't do this type of stuff. And gameplay commented on it and was basically like, whether it's like me or Barcode, like support my friend Jeff in this series. Like this is not necessary, but like this is already happening. Like the fans are being ridiculous.
Well, good for Warper too.
I was happy to see that Warper like said something, because a lot of the times, like especially with gameplay not being in their company anymore, you know, like they might not feel it they had to say something, but like it was really nice to see them like step up and take action about it and be like, hey, they put the account in there and everything. Like
it shows that like the split, like gameplay leaving the series had nothing to do with his relationship with Jeff and Warper.
Yeah.
So
obviously they're still really good friends, and obviously like people speculated.
And he said when we talked to him too. If you haven't seen it already, we have an interview with Gameplay, and he does mention Jeff and talks about Jeff and future projects with Jeff. So it's not like they were breaking up. They weren't dating.
Can't freak out if you weren't actually dating. But yeah, so the stupidity from fans, because I don't really know how you can call yourself a fan of Jeff and be like shitting on one of his really good friends, but it's already starting, and I feel like with a popular series like this, it's just like it's gonna keep coming. So you know, we'll see what happens. But I just thought about that when you were mentioning like stupid questions and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah, I think we as fans in these situations, we just need to make it clear that it's not okay, and then just don't engage, because you're giving them more followers, more people that agree if you engage too much.
Like if when it comes to something like that, just report the account, block it, and go on with your day. Like, you know, it's already been addressed by Warper, so going and engaging with that account, if it still exists at this point, like it's not going to do anything helpful.
Yeah, I mean, and like 10 or hundreds of comments under like a post or something that this is not okay is not going to help.
Not going to do anything.
Like just ignore it and report it to the proper authorities, like the company, or I don't know, the police.
If it gets to that point, I mean,
technically defamation. I don't know.
God, could you imagine? Like, I mean, it's probably some 14-year-old running the account, and it's just like, it's not worth it to engage. But it is, you know, we talk about it's always frustrating to see that kind of stuff, and I'm sure with
a lot of people think they're more private on the internet than they are. I know that when BTS, the big hit, went out and cracked down on people saying shit online about BTS, they found them through their anonymous accounts. It's really not that hard. So unless you're like really used to hiding yourself online, like really hacker style, people can find you. So watch what you say online.
Like, and if you have hacker level skills, like don't make Instagram accounts shitting on other actors. Like you would think you would be above that. But
and like we are in like a fandom where we talk about love. How can you bring hate into it? I've never understood that. Like, we all love romance. We love boys love. How can you be so hateful?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. But hopefully that's an isolated incident and we won't see too much more ridiculousness to that degree throughout the rest of the series. But, you know, you never know.
Yeah, do you guys have anything else on your lists? My head is empty.
I actually mentioned like everything I had pretty much.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on mine, so.
Okay. So then that's it for our episode this week. Have you checked out the first 2 episodes of KinnPorsche yet? We want to hear your thoughts and predictions about the series so far, so be sure to leave a comment down below or share your thoughts with us over in our Discord server. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and follow us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and share this episode with your BL-loving friends. Did you know we have a merch shop? You can find it at lovecastthepodcast.com. We have hoodies, stickers, shirts, and tote bags, and we'll have new designs coming soon, so stay tuned for more info.
Exciting.
And finally, if you'd like to support the podcast and help us to continue creating and releasing episodes, you can join our Patreon, where you'll receive exclusive access to extra content like Kayla's reaction videos, my audio chapters of BL novels, Alexa's character analysis posts, behind-the-scenes clips from interviews, podcast recordings that didn't make it into the final episode, and more. Thanks again for joining us this week. If we don't catch you in the Discord server, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye. The struggle.
You should start the episode holding Z up. It's Z who's opening this episode.
Right in front of your face.
When we're talking about KinnPorsche.
We need to have Z on so that he can meet his standee.
Oh my god, no we don't. We really don't.
Don't say anything.
You notice anything in the background.
If we do like a cutie pie deep dive, I'll bring out the Z.
I'm telling you need to make a new one too, so he has his little partner there with him, and he's not all alone.
Yeah, I am gonna at one point try and make a big one, but I couldn't like find a picture that was like HD enough.
Yeah.
Suit one, where he just looks like that standing emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Like that needs to be a standee.
Like full body.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, it was really easy to use that site someone recommended on TikTok. So it wasn't hard to do. It was just the hardest part is finding a picture that's not like pixelated when you try and blow it up.
Yeah.